Welcome back to my powerlifting training series. This is now week 3 that I'm on. This video is going to be a little bit different than, or very different than the previous two, because the previous two I was using pretty much the same formula for both of them, and by the second one I felt like that formula was already getting pretty stale personally. So I'm going to try something new. This is going to be more of a talking head style. It's just going to be me reacting to / critiquing / explaining my lifting footage from week 3. I'm already done with week 3 by the time of recording this, so this is going to be me going over all of the clips from my training from week 3. Starting off with this squat here on day 1. I think I went way too heavy on this. This was a set of 5, I believe, and I'm very shaky, and my depth is severely lacking on this, which I'm not a huge fan of, and that's going to be a reoccurring theme throughout this week. Something I'm definitely going to have to fix in future weeks. So yeah, that's my squat from day 1. Very poor depth, very bad range of motion. Deadlifts were fine. This was paused with 365, I believe. Yeah. And this is just a different angle. 365. Pretty smooth, in my opinion. Rat getting on those straps. Yeah, that was good. I like my deadlift a lot more than I like the squat. This is all the footage I have from day 2 because I was new to this gym, actually. I'm going to 24 Hour Fitness because I'm in California right now, and I was a little embarrassed to film when it was busy because it was really busy at this time. And so this is it. This is all I recorded for day 2, unfortunately. Back to day 3, doing band squats. These were fairly difficult. Again, depth lacking a little bit, not as bad as day 1, but still could be better. These bands may be a little bit too heavy, because as soon as I step out with it, it just wants to yank me down. Like, I just instantly feel the tension from the band, just not just the weight, but like especially from the bands, you just feel all that pressure just like pulling you into the floor. But I'm gonna keep using these because I think these are the heaviest they have, and they don't have a lot of options here, so just working with what I got. Maybe I could take it down a peg, but I got it last set. It was really hard, but I'm just gonna keep working with it. Now onto the bottom up squats, which I'm pretty sure I say it in a later clip, but these are the hardest squats I have ever done, period. I probably should have set the bar like 1 notch lower to just practice getting that depth, but the depth here is okay. It's passable. And I think the bar is a little high up on my back as well, which is probably affecting my form somewhat, making it difficult to keep my chest up. Bottom up squats, officially the hardest type of squats I've ever done. This was my top set of bottom up squats. This is 245 pounds for 7 reps, attempting 8 reps. But I failed on the 7th, which you'll see here shortly. It was really, really difficult. At the end of the clip, I'm pretty sure I just sit down on the floor and contemplate my life decisions for a moment. That definitely took a lot out of me. Yep, there it is. And the last thing for day 3 was farmer walks with one hand at a time, doing down and back on the turf. Pretty doable. Now I did actually get confident enough to record on upper body day for day 4. It also wasn't as busy because I'm pretty sure I just went in the morning. I started going in the morning after breakfast. I'd eat breakfast and then wait like 45 minutes to an hour and then go to the gym. What am I looking at right now? Disappointed in 24 Hour Fitness's organization. I mean, it's not the gym's fault itself, more so the people that go to the gym that are doing things like this, but please don't do that. This is actually a replacement exercise for another exercise I was supposed to be doing on the program that is a standing bench press machine, but they don't have anything like that here. And I just have to adapt and do something else instead. So, yeah, because the program is tailored mainly to me and with working out at my home gym in mind, but since I'm not doing that, I have to adapt. And so I did this instead, which was still really hard, as you can see. And this is another thing I did. It was supposed to be the bamboo bar, but they don't have that, so I just did regular barbell overhead press with 95 pounds, which the first 10 reps were pretty smooth, and after that it got pretty challenging. I think I went for 15 here. And yep, there's the grind. And then I was supposed to do some kind of rowing motion. I think this is 160 pounds for 8 reps. Probably could have done a little more weight, but I wanted to keep my form clean, and my form did start tapering off towards the last few reps, as you could see me kind of forcing these reps and jerking a little bit, so I didn't want to go up and ruin my form more. On to day 5, just regular old squats. This is 245 for 10, and my depth is improving a little bit here, which is really nice to see. So I did a back and forth set of 245 and 315 3 times. And it was actually pretty nice going down from 315 to 245. Felt really good because 245 felt heavy at first set, and then doing it after doing 315 is like, oh wow, this is nothing. Which is awesome. It makes the reps go by really, really quick. Deadlift standing on a 1-inch platform. I don't know if that was exactly 1 inch, but I think it was. This is a set of 5. Just regular deadlift, no pause or anything, just slightly elevated. Deficit. But very smooth. Very little rounding of the back in the upper back, but for the most part, pretty flat, pretty strong. I'm happy with these. Deadlifts are looking solid once again. Surprised I didn't fall off that platform backing up. This is another example of me struggling with depth. Depth is horrible on these. Very bad. I watched the video after doing these and saw how bad my depth was that I actually took some weight off. This was my top set. I was supposed to be done after this, but I was so disappointed with my depth that I took weight off, went down, and did a whole nother set with less weight so I could do it with proper range of motion. I think I took off a 25 and a 45, which made it 5 plates on each side, which I'm pretty sure is 495 if the leg press itself weighs 45 pounds. So yeah, this is me doing it with less weight, which with much better range of motion. The leg press was almost bottoming out. Like you can see me looking down. I was literally looking at it come down, and it almost touched the bottom as I went down, which is very much better. How it should be. These backward sled pulls were really challenging. They were really heavy. I believe that's 6 plates on there, which is 270 pounds minus whatever the sled weighs. The turnaround was really difficult because that thing was heavy. That was really heavy. And Summer specified that this should be really hard, so I just put a ton of weight on there. I would put like a couple plates, pull it, and like, that's not hard enough. So once I got up to 6 plates, I was like, okay, yeah, that's gonna be really hard, and I did it. And you can see by how slowly I'm pulling it, especially on the way back. Like my hamstrings and glutes were on fire after this. That was brutal. I was just done after that, but I still had more to do, which are these lunges. So yeah, doing these lunges straight after that was absurd. I kept my belt on for the sled pull too, because it like kind of made me bend over, and after doing the deadlifts, my back was pretty tired, so trying to keep my lower back straight and safe, I kept the belt on. And also my right knee was having a little bit of discomfort from the squats and the leg press, so I kept my knee sleeves on as well. I don't even know what to say. That was just hard. I'm gassed. See you tomorrow. Finally walking back to the house after that crazy workout. My whole lower body feels like it's been sitting in a deep fryer. I haven't had a lower body workout that intense since July, and it is nearing the end of September, so yeah, I was long overdue for a hardcore leg workout. And I don't even know how I'm walking back to the house. It's just, my body's on autopilot right now, just cruising back. And finally, day 6, I'm doing some bench press. This was similar to the squat set where you do a set of lower percentage of your max and then a set of higher percentage of your max. 1 for 10, the lower percent for 10, higher percent for 3. So this was it was 175, I believe. Yeah, 175 for 10, and then 225 for 3, which the 225, I've been getting a lot more comfortable pushing that much weight, which is awesome. I was supposed to do weighted dips up to an 8 rep max, but they didn't have a belt to do weighted dips with, but they did have this machine. So again, me adapting to having limited things to use at this particular gym and just adapting to my program using this machine, and it was pretty hard. I put it up pretty high. I don't know the exact amount of weight I had on there, but as you can see from my struggle, it was heavy. I mean, I was supposed to be going for an 8 rep max, so I pushed it. And these band tricep pushdowns, I thought these blue bands weren't going to be heavy enough, but these are the heaviest bands they have. But after doing the bench press and the dips, these were pretty hard because my triceps were pretty fried after doing all that. And I had to do 100 reps of this. So I just kept the motion as smooth and controlled as I could. And as soon as my form started tapering off and not looking as clean, then I would just let it go, rest for a second or two, and do as many more reps as I could with clean form as possible, until I got to 100 reps eventually, which I'm not sure if the end of this clip I was at 100 or what, but yeah, you can see me letting go and resetting and struggling, because it was pretty hard, especially keeping it slow and controlled on the way down and on the way back up, not just letting the bands just jerk my arm upwards. And finally, got I was supposed to do any form of rear delt exercise, so I chose the cables because they keep tension on your delt the entire time, up and down, as long as you don't let the plate touch the bottom. So I did 10 reps each side 10 times, because that would equal 100 reps each side, which took forever, because that was 200 reps total basically. So yeah, and that's the end of week 3. Pretty okay, I'd say. I'm improving in some aspects. Like I said, deadlift looking great. Bench press, getting a lot more comfortable with those higher numbers on bench press. But my squat still needs work on the depth for sure. What I'm realizing after week 3 is that I'm probably not as strong on squat as I thought I was, and by that I mean that my max that I said that I had at the beginning of week 1 was probably from doing squat with poor or suboptimal form. So does that really even count? I don't know, maybe, but I would much prefer to be able to squat that number, which I believe is 375 pounds for 1 rep max, with clean form and honest depth. I don't want that to be a number that I got with suboptimal form, not full range of motion. At this point, I really don't even know what my 1 rep squat max is with honest form, but in week 4, which at the time of recording I am currently on, I'm focusing on that a lot more, putting a lot more attention into my squat form versus the numbers that I'm putting up with squats, because the form needs to come first. That's more important right now. Especially while I'm still early on in the program, I want to get that form to pinpoint precision, or as close to perfect as I can get it, before I start getting into the heavier numbers, because there's no point in trying to lift heavy if you have to sacrifice your form or your range of motion. Then, in my opinion, it really doesn't even count. That's a wrap on week 3. I think it was an okay week, but hey, not all of them can be bangers. I will see you on week 4 whenever I get around to finally editing that video. Peace.